Hey guys, this is Kevin Murphy on my channel called Narcissistic Abuse Learning Who I Am Again. Before I start this next video, I want to say a huge thanks for those who have been subscribing to my channel, and thank you so much for the support that you guys have been giving me on this channel through messaging or just through personal contact or sending me messages on Facebook. Thank you so much for the support on my journey. This just making these videos has been healing for me. Just watching the videos and learning some of the things that I say for myself, because it is possible that you can learn from yourself. I just feel very empowered and very encouraged, and I feel lots of hope for my future. And I'm hoping that you guys who have subscribed and who have been watching these videos and who have experienced narcissistic abuse or is experiencing narcissistic abuse are feeling that this channel is helping you just as much as it's helping me. Because our goal is to heal, and our goal is to feel that sense of empowerment that was taken away from us by the narcissist. So without further ado, my next video is going to be on Narcissistic Momster Part 2. Now, in my last video about the narcissistic mother, I talked about how there's two different styles of the narcissistic mother, and there's the enmeshing narcissistic mother, and then there's the ignoring narcissistic mother. And both are pretty different. If you don't know the difference between the narcissistic mother, enmeshing narcissistic mother versus the ignoring narcissistic mother, I suggest you would tune into part 1 of the Narcissistic Momster slash matriarch, which is the video I made about 3 days ago. But today I want to talk about the roles that the narcissistic mother assigns to her children from a very young age. And these roles, there's 2 roles. Well, there's actually 3, but I'm only going to discuss 2. So the 2 roles that I'm going to discuss today is the golden child and the scapegoat child. And the golden child is the child who can do no wrong. He or she is put up on a pedestal. He or she is given the best gifts on Christmas, best birthday parties. This golden child is really doted on, and this golden child is the apple of the narcissist's eye, whereas the scapegoat child is an abysmal to the narcissist. This scapegoat child can do no wrong, can do no right. The scapegoat child is known as the rebellious one, because this scapegoat child is the person who holds their own and stands up for themselves. But the caveat to being a golden child is you have no identity. You are pretty much a shell of yourself, because your identity and your role is to feed the narcissist. And the reason why that narcissist may have named that child the golden child is because he or she mainly does the highest bidding for the narcissist. This narcissist gets their biggest supply from this golden child. And narcissistic supply is excessive attention, ass kissing from different people that's out there telling the narcissist that they're the best mother, they're the best dressed, that they're the greatest, they have the best car, they have the nicest home. That's narcissistic supply. That's unending compliments, no matter how cruel the narcissist is. That person is always there, and that's the golden child. The scapegoat child is the one that has woken up and decided that I'm not going to take this anymore. There's a bigger world out there, and I'm not happy with this woman. And this woman has been torturing me and my sibling for the longest time. And that scapegoat child normally is the one that goes no contact. They leave the house at a young age, and they go and seek therapy living happy and healthier lives. And I'm a Christian, and I am someone who believes in solidarity within the family unit and just solidarity in general. And I'm not someone that hugely advocates severing ties with people, especially with family members. But if you find yourself in a situation like this where you're being scapegoated, or you have roles like that in your family dynamic, I wouldn't even go low contact. I would go no contact. Especially if you're an adult. I would sever all ties with a person or a situation like that, because it doesn't get better with time. You know, it doesn't get better with prayer. It doesn't. I'm sorry to say this as a Christian, but I'm just being realistic, and I'm being honest that no matter how much you pray for this narcissistic mother, she will never change. She will never get that aha moment and a light bulb goes off and she says, I have been a bitch to my kids. I have been horrible I've been triangulating my children to hate each other. I've you know, been abusive to my kids, verbally, physically, and whatever. She's not going to have that aha moment. And as a scapegoat child who is in a situation like that, I would not stay around to wait for her to have that aha moment. If you got that aha moment yourself and you realize that you're in a situation that is detrimental to your health and to your psychological well-being, you need to get as far away from this person as possible and as far away from this situation as possible. And I say this from experience that it will not get any better until you make it better. And when I say that, you have to remove yourself from a situation like that. As an adult, you are responsible for your own emotional well-being, for your own psychological well-being, and you're responsible for your own mental health. And when you're in a dynamic like that, it destroys your sense of self. It destroys your confidence, because as a scapegoat, you are made to be wrong. You're always wrong. You're always shamed. You're always this. You're always that. And the narcissist will convince other people that you're those things. And so that when you go into an adulthood and when you start relating to or attempting to relate to other people, you're going to have a horrible time trying to do that. And I know in a lot of Christian circles, they teach us how to turn the other cheek, how to not harbor grudges and things like that. And you going no contact is not you harboring a grudge. You going no contact is not you hating your narcissistic mother. You going no contact is learning that this is a situation I myself don't have control over. I'm going to put her in the hands of God, and I'm going to let God deal with my narcissistic mother. And I'm going to love my narcissistic mother from a distance. I will still pray for her. I will still love on her from a distance. But I need to get myself healed, because if you are the scapegoat and you want to have healthy relationship with other people, you cannot have healthy relationship with other people if you're continuously exposed to venom, if you're continuously exposed to toxic behavior, because you are either one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to pick up what they call narcissistic fleas, which I'll talk about in another video. Where the you pick up character traits and behavior that the narcissist has, or you can become a codependent and self-loathing, and so on and so forth. And I look at it this way: life is too short. You have so much to offer people, and offer those who truly care and love you. And the narcissistic mother doesn't care about anybody but herself. She may try to love you in her own way, but her love is so distorted and so disordered that it just it doesn't pay to it doesn't pay to stay in a situation like that. So I say that I strongly advocate those who have been scapegoated, who are in a dynamic and came to a realization that, oh my gosh, like this is really really bad. Walk away, run away. Do not stay in a situation like that, because the narcissistic mother, especially if you're the scapegoat, will do everything she can to pit other people against you, your friends, your coworkers, your own children. If you have any kids, if you have any associates or anything like that, she is a tornado. She will try to do everything she can to screw you over pretty much. So some of the things that the narcissistic mother will do, and this is something that I described in the other video in part 1, she'll triangulate. She will get on the phone and she'll start saying things that are not even true about the scapegoat child. That the scapegoat child's on drugs, the scapegoat child, and their favorite go-to, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. Because they can't go, there's no other go-to for them. So they want to say that you're crazy. Like I said, Johnny is crazy, is a crazy person, and Johnny swears at me all the time, and Johnny is this, that, and the other. And that is the narcissist's way of trying to get you to to be isolated. And one of the reasons why I am a strong advocate of going no contact is because as a scapegoat, you go into relationships with other people, you start behaving in ways that are really weird and very self-sabotaging, and you isolate yourself even more. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy where the narcissist has instilled in you that you're worthless, you're a piece of garbage, you're this and that, and you go into the world feeling the exact way and projecting the way that the things that the narcissist has said to you. You start projecting that to other people, and you start thinking that other people believe the same thing in the same way the narcissist feels about you. So you may go into situations where, well, or saying this to yourself, well, this person's not going to like me anyway, so I'm going to try to, sabotage this relationship anyway. And that stems from low self-esteem, that stems from a low self-worth, because the narcissist has been spewing all of her venom into your psyche. You're not good. You'll never amount to anything. Nobody will like you. Nobody will want to be with you. Nobody, you're ugly. You're an asshole. You're a bitch. You're this. You're that. All of these horrible things that this woman is saying to you. That's why she is a narcissistic momster, not a mother. Because a mother is nurturing to her child. A mother, even if the child is screwing up or doing things that they have no business doing, the mom is there to she knows how to separate who the child is versus what the child has done. So the child's identity is not based on what they do. The child's identity is based on who they are as a person. So, and that's why you have these codependents out here who become what I call human doings instead of human beings. The human doing codependent will base their will say to the narcissistic partner, well, I did this for you, and I washed your clothes, and I fried your fish, and I paid your child support, and I whatever the codependent has done for the narcissist, she puts her identity in what she does instead of who she is. She's a compassionate person. She is a caring person. She is a person who's funny. She's a person who is comical. Whatever she is, she doesn't see herself as those things. She sees herself as bad. So what she does is she tries to mask how she feels about herself with the things that she does for the narcissist. So you'll hear a lot of codependents say, I did this for you. I did that for you. I did the other. And she wraps her whole sense of identity and her whole sense of self based on what she does. That's a human doing. So when you're in a family dynamic where your deeds and your what you do is magnified and and that is the only way that um where you will that where you're determined that's what makes you a good person is based on what you do for someone, then 9 times out of 10 you've either been raised by a narcissist, you're with a narcissist, or you were with a narcissist. And that's why it's important to, if things have gotten so deep to the point where mom has assigned you as a scapegoat and she has all these different roles where one person is singled out and the other person is put up on a pedestal, you need to get away from that. Because another thing that'll happen is you will start to feel you will be sensitive to rejection. You'll be incredibly sensitive to feeling left out, because that's what the narcissistic mother wants to do with the scapegoat. She wants to leave you out. Because to her, you're worthless. And she's projecting her own stuff onto you because she feels worthless, and she might come out as feeling, she might look like she's confident, she might look like she is, all that and whatever, but she's really deep down inside, she's really an insecure shell of a person. And that's why you have to get away from that. You love her from a distance. You don't have to talk smack about her. You don't have to say that, oh, my mother's a bitch and she's nasty and she's this and that and whatever. You just you know with what she is, you know who the kind of person she is. You sever ties, you move on. You pray for her, you realize that she has her limitations and things like that, but know that you are under no obligation. Absolutely no obligation. I don't care what a pastor tells you. I don't care what anyone tells you. You are under no obligation to put up with abuse, no matter who this person is. Whether it's your husband, whether it's your wife, whether it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, whoever. You are under no nary obligation to put up with any abuse from anybody. And you can still love that person from a distance. You can still forgive that person from a distance. But forgiveness does not mean I'm going to be in a relationship with that person again, because that pastor or whoever is telling you that you should be in cahoots with the narcissist does not have to live your life. You have to live your life. You are responsible as an adult to live your own life, to heal and to go through this journey. It's your responsibility to do that. And I have seen situations, and I've been in situations myself where I've had different clergy tell me that, and this is with all due respect, and this is their way of trying to represent solidarity within the family unit, and that's the ideal. But when you're dealing with people who are narcissistic and who are abusive physically and verbally and psychologically and mentally, there is no way that it's okay to stay in a relationship with anyone like that. And I myself would not suggest it. I would cut ties. I would move on. I would realize that this is not a workable relationship, and I can still love this person by praying for them and by not speaking ill of them, and that's it. You owe them nothing. else other than that. You owe them nothing. You really don't owe them that. But if you as a if anyone on this channel is watching that is a Christian um that has doubts and feels guilty or about going no contact or staying in contact with the narcissist because of the fact that they're Christian, I encourage you to not let, you know, I feel, and if we're going to go spiritual, I feel that that's the enemy's way of trying to keep you in bondage. That is the enemy's way of trying to keep you intertwined with the devil. And the narcissistic mother is like the devil herself. And so that's how I look at it as. And I feel that I serve, and my fellow Christian brothers and sisters, we serve a compassionate God. We serve a God who wants what's best for us. And I know that my God does not want me to be abused. I know that my God does not want me to stay in a situation that's not conducive for me. I know that my God does not want me to continue to enable the narcissist any more than we've been enabling the narcissist as is. That my God wants me to be strengthened. My God wants me to heal. My God wants me to grow. And you can't heal and you can't grow when you're in close contact with a narcissistic mother. You cannot heal and grow with a narcissistic mother who refuses to change. You can pray for her, you can set boundaries, and you can move on. And that is my biggest suggestion, is to move on and to get the healing and the knowledge and the wisdom that you so deserve, because we all deserve to have to feel empowered. We all deserve to feel a sense of independence, because we're responsible for our own well-being as adults. So stay tuned for more videos on narcissistic abuse. And my next video, I will talk about the effects of the narcissistic mother that sons have after the abuse. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye.